In this video, we're going to talk about the very specific trading the opening drive strategy. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a very warm welcome to you. Okay, so the opening drive trade, what is it all about and how can we frame it? Well, the theory is that we're following high institutional order flow and market imbalance. That's the whole thesis behind it. The open comes, we're looking for good order flow, money flow, orders coming in, and it's just a complete supply demand imbalance causing a drive and an extension in one direction. So the things with the open, traders either love it or hate it. For me, I love the open. It's the opportunity as a day trader that I can really get stuck into seeing that supply demand imbalance and capitalizing on those extreme moves, those extensions, those continuations. This one we're focusing on specifically getting onto that momentum move, that extension of move, not fading it. We're looking for continuation drive with this specific strategy. Okay, but something to mention is, listen, most opens are calm. They're quiet. You have bursts of activity, you have a little flurry, nothing happens, a little more of a flurry, nothing happens. So you've got to be careful that we're not getting involved in something that we perceive is really aggressive when it's not. But what we're looking for, I'm going to run it through a series of filters that we kind of look at each one of those to try and spot something that may indicate that we have an opening drive potential coming up. So we're looking for the unusual as that presents opportunity, not the normal opens that are just chugging along, bing ding, the bell goes off, nobody cares. We're looking for those unusual ones where there's a real supply demand imbalance that we can really grab onto and make some money out of. So we're looking for institutional order flow, we're looking for trapped traders, and we'll talk about how we can try and identify potentially traders that are trapped in a position, and then reprice scenarios. And what I mean by reprice scenarios is something that news has come out that's fundamentally revalued that market, whether it be a currency, whether it be a stock, whether it be a commodity or index, whatever, something that's potentially given a perceived revaluation of it, either to the downside or to the upside. But our main focus with this strategy is that we are avoiding jumping on a perceived momentum when really it's chop, because that'll kill us. If we perceive that there's momentum there and there's no momentum, then the chop is just gonna cut us up. And actually, we've got to be careful of that, because that can really undo all the good that this strategy and this sort of group of strategy kind of approach does. If we're trading something that's really noisy, really choppy, we'll get frustrated and we'll end up discarding the whole system. But in reality, if you use it in the right place at the right time, it's a decent system. Okay, so we've got four kind of steps and a 4-step process to doing this, to trading the opening drive. So we're looking to, again, follow high institutional order flow and market imbalance in that opening bell. And I'm talking specifically now about indices. I'm talking about stocks. Really, this is an indice type strategy. One for the DAX, one for the CAC, one for the FTSE, one for the S&P 500, that kind of thing. Can be used elsewhere, but it's really focused on that. So number one, we're looking to identify. So we're looking to identify that there is potentially an opening drive taking place. Okay, yes, we've got all the parameters in place for it. Do we want to take it? Is it coming up? Let's look at the filters. Let's see if the chances of it happening are high or they're low. 2, we want to locate where we would want to be involved in the trade. So in other words, it's all very well saying opening drive, but we don't want to be just chasing something and get caught in a pullback. We want to be looking for a good place to buy a pullback or sell a pullback if we're in a downtrend, where we can get involved in the trade idea. Number 3 is execute. So where we're going to pull the trigger, what we're going to do with it, how we're going to actually execute it, where our risk parameters going to be. And number 4 is a big one here, is the probability. So in other words, this is where we'll dig into this a bit more in a second, but we want to know the chances of the opening drive continuing. Very briefly, what we're going to do is we're going to look and see how often the market moves in a certain direction, how much it moves, and then we're going to look at the current day and say, well, how much does it move now? So what's the likelihood of it moving further? Are we chasing it? How are we structured? Are we doing the right thing? So let's have a look at our open filters. our pre-opening bell filters. And what I'll do in a second is finish this video up with this, and then the next video I'll bring up a chart and we'll actually run through these filters on a chart so we can kind of cement exactly what we're saying. So our open filters, and these are our pre-opening bells. So imagine we're trading the Dow, and again, it could be spread bet, it could be a CFD, it could be trading futures, whatever it may be. But imagine we're trading that and we kind of looking to see if there's an opening drive. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, listen, is there a gap? In other words, between the closing price, I'm talking about cash here, the closing price to the open price, is there a gap? How big is the gap? Where is the gap's position? What's the previous day's action? What caused it? We'll look at those really in minute detail in a second. Overnight range as well. So we have the closing print from the cash, and then we have the overnight range with the futures trading overnight in the overnight session. How has that performed? Do we have a big range overnight compared to normal? Where's the high of the overnight range? Where's the low of the overnight range? What's the shape of the chart? And where's the open relative to the overnight high and overnight low? Right, stay tuned guys for the next video. I'm going to bring up a chart now. I'm going to run through each one of those filters and let's have a look at each one of those individually and see how they affect the opening drive trade.